Okay, so good afternoon, BSE. So we are down to the chapter 2 of speech and theater arts. If you has remembered the thing or the module that I have sent you last week was the chapter 1 of speech and theater arts. Okay, so today we're going to proceed with the chapter 2 of this subject. Okay po. So able for you guys to have a review of the content of the module. Make sure you have listened to the voice record or voice recording of your classmate that will be indicated before this video on our GC. Okay? And for you to proceed on the chapter 2 of the lesson in speech and theater arts, please watch this video. And while watching the video presentation or this YouTube link or YouTube video presentation, make sure po you have with your handouts. Okay, please use your handouts kasi po yan po ay ginawa ko din, no? Okay, for your future references. Okay po. And there on your handouts, write all your learnings, take down notes of the important informations about the topic that we're going to have today. Because on your handouts, you have only the outline of the topic that we're going to have, not the definition, not the explanation itself. Okay, so for you to comprehend with it, for you to remember the content of this topic or this chapter, make sure to write down the informations. Okay, so let's proceed. So this afternoon, we're going to be focused, or this chapter itself will be focusing on the, wait a minute, public speaking. Okay, so this afternoon we're going to be focused, or we're going to focus on public speaking. So enable for you guys to, if you want us to involve yourself in theater arts, okay, or if you have the guts or the talent of acting, okay, and you want to do speech, okay, in front of many people, first you have to be effective in public speaking. Okay, so for you to be familiar with public speaking, first let us identify what are the uses of public speaking po, no? Okay, so number one, okay, so yung public speaking po, it is important, is very important in the form or in the area of businesses. Okay, then bakit businesses po? Okay, number one, enable for the entrepreneur, enable for those people to promote their their products. They have to public speak or to speak in public. Okay, enable for them to promote all of their products. They have to speak in public. Okay, promoting their business, promoting their products, and advertising their own made product. Okay po. So business is very, in business, in the area of business, public speaking is very important. Kasi po, di ba, kung ikaw yung uri ng tao na you don't want to speak with other people, there will be tendencies that those people would not be interested in the product that you're selling. Okay? So make sure you are an effective speaker. You're a motivator, enable for you to um, speak for your product or speak for your business. Okay? So, kung mapapansin natin yung mga networking, okay, ang galing nilang mag-negotiate or ang galing nilang makipag-usap in terms of their business. Okay? Alam mo yon na parang na brainwash tayo sa mga sinasabi nila or nagkakaroon tayo ng idea or the feeling na I like this, tama? Because the way they speak, the way they promote their products, the way they promote their group, okay, is very encouraging. It's very motivating, lalo pag pinakitaan ka ng pera. Okay? So that is depending on the way they present themselves. Okay. So, public speaking also, mga anak, is very important in the area of education. Okay. So, in the area of education, most especially in your course or in your field, we are Bachelor of Secondary Education. Bawal po ang mahiyain sa educator. Bawal po ang timid. Bawal po ang ayaw sa crowd. Bawal po ang may fear sa um, sa maraming tao. Okay, but anyway, class, it is progressive naman. It is very naaaral siya. Okay, and at the same time, it is developmental. So, ibig sabihin, be patient with yourself. Okay, kasi si ma'am, hindi naman ako naging ganito kaayos magsalita or ka well educated sa English by myself. Okay, but it's due experience, it is due studying, and alam mo yun, nasanay ka na lang na nagsasalita. So when you stand in the front of people, when you stand in the crowd, okay, so automatic na magsasalita ka, most especially if you're educator. Okay, so another function of public speaking in the form or in the area of education is through speech. Okay, diba? We conducted some role plays. Usong-uso yan lalo nung high school. Okay? So, enable for us to be effective or to have high grades in our role playing or speech, we have to be good or wise in public speaking. Okay? So, public speaking is very important. Speaking, di ba? Enable for us to voice out our sentiments, our ideas, our feelings, our um, the things that we feel, the things that we want to share, we have to speak, okay, wisely. Okay, so there are many benefits to public speaking. Okay po, whether you're an individual, a student, a business person, okay, or a parent. Okay, so that is very important. Public speaking is very important. So in this lesson, we'll define public speaking. Okay, we'll also discuss the importance of public speaking in general, as well as the importance of public speaking in businesses. Okay. Plus, okay, we'll connect you to some tips on how to help you become a better public speaker. Okay, class, and including one public speaking example for you to identify what is public speaking itself. Okay po. So, first, first, what is a public speaking? So, there. Okay, so a public speaking is a presentation that is given live before an audience. Public speeches can cover a wide variety of different topics. Okay, the goal of the speech may be to educate, entertain, to influence, or to inspire other people or the listeners. Often, visual aids in the form of an electronic slideshows are used to supplement the speech and make it more interesting to the listeners. So, a public speaking po is a presentation, okay? A public speaking presentation po is different from an online presentation, okay? So, I repeat, a public speaking presentation is different from online presentation. Okay? Because the online presentation po may be viewed or listened to the viewer's convenience. Okay? While the public speech is typically limited to specific time or a place. Okay? So online presentation po, they are often comprised of slideshow or pre-recorded videos of a speaker, including recordings of a live public speaking presentation. Okay? So, because public speaking is done before a live audience, there are some special factors that the speakers need to take into consideration. Again, so when we say public speaking po, it is a combination of a live presentation and a body of audience. Again, when we say public speaking, it is composed of live presentation. You have to stand in a stage in a specific area, and then you are covered or you are there are many people surrounding you. So that is public speaking. Okay? But when we say public speaking presentation or online presentation rather, okay, so that is very different. This, what I'm doing, this is an online presentation. Okay? Or kaya naman, naka-flash yung mukha ko. Okay? Ibang-iba po yun. Sabi nga dito, it could be um, maybe viewed or listened to the viewer's convenience. So, ibig sabihin po, for the convenience of the people, okay, they just watch the video on their available time, okay, on their kung kailan nila gusto, kung kailan nila trip, okay? Or kaya naman may mga meetings, okay? May Zoom, Google Meet tayo. So that is an example of online presentation. So that is in the convenience of the speaker and the listener. Why? Because it is very or often it is very easy for us to talk when we have or when there are no people surrounding us. Tama ba? Ang sarap magsalita or mag-explore, mag-practice ng public speaking, magsalita kapag walang nakikinig. Pero when we are surrounded or bounded with people, andyan na yung kaba, yung takot na mautal, yung takot po na hindi mapakinggan, yung takot na hindi maintindihan. Okay? So, online presentation is much easier, okay, than the public speaking itself. Okay? So, sabi dyan, a presentation that is given live to the audience. Again, when we say public speaking, simply it is the combination of live presentation plus the audience. Okay? So, public speeches, ulitin natin, can cover a wide variety of different topics. Okay? So, one thing that we have to consider in making a public speaking or in conducting public speaking is the topic. Okay? So make sure that when you make an outline for your public speaking, you know what is the topic. Okay? The topic should be incorporated with the specific people itself. Okay? So another factor that we have to consider in public speaking is the type of audience. Okay? So if your audience are children, hindi ka po pwede maggamit siya ng mga malalalim na salita. Tama po. If your audience, for example, are prisoners and you want to encourage, you want to share um, inspirational thoughts about life. Okay, so make sure that your topic is corporate. Okay, so for example, if your audience are old people, okay, matatanda na, so your topic should be corresponding on the audience. So that is very important. Okay, so the purpose why we should align the topic to the chosen audience is for us to be well verbalized and at the same time for us to be understood and for those people to comprehend of what we're saying. Tama po. Kasi in the first place, if you're talking about goals, and setting what are the possibilities of changing views kapag nanggaling ka sa pag-aaral tapos nagtrabaho ka na, encouragement, tapos kausap mo mga 2 years old, tama ba? You could not be understood. So, you have to consider the audience. Okay? So, actually, mamaya yan sa tips natin. Okay? Binigyan ko lang kayo ng, I just give you an emphasis of that area because that is very important. Okay? Okay, so we'll touch on those shortly, mamaya po. Okay, but first, let's take a quick look at the history of the public speaking. Okay, so history of public speaking. So there is a good chance that there's a public speaking in one form or another, as long as there have been people, but most academic or other involved with public speaking, including those at the public speaking project, trace the origin of the modern public speaking back to ancient Greece and Rome. Okay? Those societies didn't have any of the electronic convenience we've got today to help with public speaking, but they did have a need for public speaking and develop public speaking methods that are still studied today. Okay? So the ancient Greek po, mga anak, BSE, in particular, used public speaking primarily to praise or persuade people or other people. Okay? At one point po of their life, all Greek citizens has the right to suggest or oppose the laws there of their assemblies, okay, or those who have authorities over them, which resulted in a need for skilled public speakers. Okay? So public speaking po became a desirable skill and was sought during that time. Okay? So public speaking in the time of the Greek was called rhetoric. Please take down notes. The public speaking was called rhetoric, Rhetoric. Okay? So when we say rhetoric, mga anak, um, this is okay, this is the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. So, kasi back in the um, back in the time of Greek and Rome po. Of course, they don't have electronic devices for them to encourage or for them to say or for them to inquire people with all of the things that they're going to say. Okay, so even the news. Okay, so in the form of public speaking, they allow people to earn information. Okay, because there is no electronic gadgets and conveniences that time. Okay, so later po, when Rome came to power, okay, so when they have already independency the um, against the authority of the other countries. Okay po, so public speaking was used during the session of the governing body, the Roman Senate. Okay, so the Romans adapted the public speaking rhetoric method of the Greeks. In fact po, most of the public speaking teachers of the time were Greeks because they are great influencer. They are the type of people, they are the type of group of people wherein public speaking or excuse me, imploring their ideas, their thoughts, and their feelings are very important. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin natin, yung mga caricatures nila, they are focused on their culture. They are focused on the kind of life that they have, okay, more than the place they've been. Okay? So, let's proceed. If you fast forward po, in that time, okay, what was known as the Latin style of public speaking was popular in the US and Europe, okay, until the mid 20th century. After World War II, however, less formal and more conversational, okay, or conversational style of speaking started to become popular. Also, electronic tools became available to enhance public presentation. Okay, so this time, the electronic tools or devices were created or were promoted, so um, it enhances the public presentation or it helps to reach those different places in the US, okay po, with the help of the public speaking. Okay, so towards the end of the 20th century, those electronic tools migrated to the computer and evolved into the computer software tools such as PowerPoint that we know and use today. Okay, so some of the public speaking, most especially today, we use PowerPoint presentation to show pictures, illustrations po, to make our public speaking more appropriate, to be more appreciated, and to be more visualized. Okay po, let's continue. Okay, so now, what is the importance of public speaking? Okay, so if you ask most of the people, they'll probably say that they don't like public speaking. Actually, back when I have read all your expectations, tawag dito, your weakness in English, you were afraid of the crowd or you were afraid of public speaking. Tama po. Okay. So, many people would say that they don't like public speaking or they are afraid of it. Okay? So they may even admit of being afraid of the public speaking since fear of public speaking is very common. Tama po? Okay, actually, if you are going to calculate the population, okay, napakarami pong tao ang ayaw pong magsalita. 'Di ba? Kahit nga simpleng pag-lead ng prayer, okay? Pag sa klase, 'di ba? Pag recite, okay? Hindi ma-implore or hindi natin masabi yung ideas natin kasi takot tayo magsalita. And that is normal. Normal, but we have to overcome that fear, okay? Because we will not be heard if we don't speak at all. Tama? Okay, so let's continue. Or they may just be shy or introverted person. Okay? But I believe, sabi ko nga kanina, speaking or communicating is progressing. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, you have just to be patient of yourself because po, on the prior years, okay, on the coming years, you will be improved. Okay? So for those reasons, many people avoid public speaking if they can. Okay, if you're one of those people, you have, or if you're one of those people who avoid, excuse me, public speaking, you're missing the best part of your life. Sabi dito. Okay? So because public speaking or sharing the ideas and thoughts of other people is a very important factor. Tama po? Kasi malay mo, yung story mo or yung bagay na sasabihin mo would influence the group of people or that specific person. Okay? So that is very important for you to implore or to share the knowledge that you have. Okay? So, sabi dito, whether you're a small business owner, student, or just someone who's passionate about something, you'll benefit if you improve your public speaking skills. Both personally and professionally, some benefit to public speaking includes improved confidence. Okay, so when you are able to speak or to public speak, okay, so it is very important for it or for us to improve our confidence. Okay, so actually, sabi nga dito, 'di ba? Public speaking is a skill. Okay? So some of the people, they were born extrovert or tinatawag na social socially best or ibig sabihin po, meron po mga talagang mga tao na mahilig sila sa crowd or they one of their forte or one of the things that they like is communicating with people. Okay? So that is a very big help for us to be effective in public speaking. Okay? But it could be earned. Ibig sabihin, it could be developed, it could be in the process of knowing. Okay? It could be studied. Okay? So number one, the importance of public speaking is it improves our confidence. Once you know how to speak publicly, okay, it would be easy for you guys to share your thoughts, your arguments with other people. Okay? So it builds confidence. Kapag marunong tayo mag-public speaking or marunong tayo makipag-communicate ng ayos, it could help ourselves to be built confidently, hindi lang sa the way ng pagsasalita, kundi sa pananamit, the way we present ourselves, and the way to develop our skills. Next, better research skills. Of course, when you do public speaking, you have to research. Okay? So once you do researching, it would improve you as a person. Okay? So don't just talk or don't just indicate information that is based on your opinion. Okay? Don't just indicate information that is just based on your beliefs, on your interpretation, but rather you have to do such research in order for you guys to be recognized reliable or enable for you guys to be recognized as the person who knew such important matters rather than your thoughts or your personal opinion. Number three, stronger deductive skills. So when we say stronger deductive skills, it enables us to present ourselves with the help of our skills. So when we say deductive skills po, excuse me, okay, so when we say deductive skills or deductive reasoning, okay, so it is the general principle from specific enhances, okay. So when we say that, it helps us to do a specific conclusion and a general principles or premises. So simply, when we say it helps us to have a stronger deductive skills. It gives us a proper reasoning. Tama po? Okay, so we have to enable or with the help of public speaking, we could have a proper or wise reasoning. Okay, not just in specific area. Okay, for example, in the area of education, but in our personal life too. Next, ability to advocate for causes. I repeat, sabi ko po kanina, enable for us to be understood, enable for us, or enable for people to wisely understand our thoughts, our feelings, and the things that we want to say to indicate. Di ba kaya nga may mga tao na nagrarally, may mga tao po na nag they use um, boards or big flashcards enable for them to advocate what they want to say or what they want to imply. Okay, so advocate for cause. Make sure that you are, if you are doing a public speaking, that is for a cause, that is for a purpose. Okay, so that is the benefit. Okay, we advocate, we earn, or we allow people to learn from us. Next, so speech and theater arts, how to become better at public speaking. The truth is that public speaking is a skill, as I have mentioned. It can be learned also. While some people may have more natural speaking ability than others, or a more pleasing voice, or are more charismatic, anyone who can speak can learn to be a better public speaker than they are right now. It's just take some know-how and some effort. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po niyan, um, for us to understand what are the benefits or what are the things that we could have, okay, in such a better way to be a better public speaker, okay? So, we must be interested of it, okay? Ulitin ko, for us to be a better public speaker, we have to be interested of the topic, okay? Or the research that we conduct, okay? So, ibig sabihin po nun, okay, maybe you gave a speech once and it didn't go well, okay? Maybe you're afraid of public speaking, or maybe you think you don't have a natural ability for public speeches, okay? So, it is very important for us to be a better public speaker, for us to be heard, and for us to be understood. I repeat, okay? The first step for us to be a better public speaker is that we are interested of what we are saying, or the topic of the things that we are going to speak about. Okay, so next, if you are really afraid of public speaking, okay, or maybe you think you didn't have a natural ability for giving speeches, you have to practice, okay, or you have to conduct or to formulate different strategies to help yourself. Okay? Actually, mga anak, yung public speaking naman po, it could be trained, it could be studied, or it could be formulated. Actually, si ma'am, no, actually, yan yung pinakaayaw ko before when you speak to people. Kasi, di ba, when we speak to people, we see their faces and we see their impressions. And people, they have nonverbal communication that says, ang pagtaas ng kilay, like that. Okay, so it indicates misunderstanding. Ibig sabihin, once they have that specific nonverbal act, it means that they don't understand you at all. So, alam niyo yun, nakakatakot. Pero alam niyo, what is the most important about public speaking? You share your thoughts. You share what you're feeling, or you share the things that you have in your mind that you could advocate to other people. Okay, so I have here the 10 tips for public speaking. Okay, so I have here the 10 tips for public speaking. Number one, nervousness is normal, practice and prepare. I repeat, nervousness is normal, practice and prepare. So, one thing that you have to realize, or one thing that you have to learn with yourself, or one thing that you should know, nervousness is normal. Even the most effective communicator or speaker that you've known in your whole life, okay, even the um even those people that is your favorite in the terms of speaking, okay, nervousness is very normal to them. Ibig sabihin, kahit na pang ilang beses na nilang nagsasalita, pang ilang beses na nilang engagement sa public speaking, andyan pa din yung nervousness. Ibig sabihin, natural or very promoted po sa kanila, or very, it's very important for them or for us to know that nervousness is very important, is normal to us. Okay? So, sabi dito, all people feel some psychological reactions like pounding hearts and trembling hands. Okay? So, that is very, alam mo yun, namamawis na yung kamay mo, tapos nauutal-utal-utal ka. That is very normal. Do not associate these feelings with the sense that you will perform poorly or make a fool of yourself. Okay? So, some nerves are good. Okay? So, yung adrenaline rush, mga anak. Alam niyo yung adrenaline rush? Okay? So, it makes us sweat. Okay? And also make you, or it makes us more alert and ready to give our best performance. Okay? So, given that nervousness is normal, we have to use that nervousness to do our activity more effectively and more appropriately. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, wag nating i-entertain yung nervousness natin. We have to refocus on the goal. Bakit ko ba to ginagawa in the first place? And alam nyo mga anak, kapag tayo ay gumagawa ng public speaking, huwag kayong titingin dun sa tao na kung saan distract ka. Naintindihan natin? That could be your friend, that could be yung person na ayaw mo, kasi may irita tayo sa mukha niya. Tama po. Doon tayo tumingin sa mamomotivate tayo. Okay? Sa jowa mo, char. Okay? Na all may jowa. Okay? Or kaya naman doon sa tao na kung saan nag inspire sa'yo para gumawa or gawin yung public speaking na yun. Okay? So sabi dyan, practice and prepare. The most effective way to us to be effective in every area of our life, mga anak, hindi lang po sa public speaking, we have to practice and prepare. Okay? Hindi natin masisisi ang ibang tao kapag hindi na nila nagustuhan yung sinabi natin kung wala naman content yung sinasabi natin at all. And we don't do practice and preparation at all. Okay? So we have to practice, we have to prepare whatever we are doing and able for us to be effective. Number 2, know your audience. Your speech is about them, not about you. Sabi ko nga kanina, know your audience. Okay? It is very important, guys, for us to know the kind of audience that we're going to have. Okay? Para po, ma-identify natin ano ba yung uri or topic ng speech na gagawin natin. Okay? And make sure that your speech is not just about you. Okay? You may include some of your experiences in life, but make sure it is about them. It is about general. It is about the general experiences of humanity. Okay? So, number 1 pala, balik muna tayo sa number 1. The best way po to overcome anxiety, okay? Kasi di ba may mga anxiety tayo, unconsciousness, okay? We have to prepare, and some more preparation, okay? Take the time to go over your notes several times. Basahin mo ng basahin to the point of memorizing it, okay? And then have feelings and make sure that the content would rely on your interest and you understand what you are saying, okay? Because it will be portrayed on your face, okay? Your facial expression would show if you really understand what you're saying, okay? Once you have become comfortable with the material or the practice a lot, okay? So you could have a videotape of yourself. Pwede mong i-video yung sarili mo habang nagsasalita para ma-identify mo na ang weak ko dito sa part na to. Yung facial expression ko hindi mabasa. Yung hand gestures ko ang gulo-gulo. Okay? So you have to practice, you have to prepare. Okay? Or you could have with you a friend na kung saan siya po yung magkikritik sa performance mo. Okay. So number 2, again, know your audience. Your speech is about them, not about you. So ibig sabihin po, before you begin with the content of your message, consider who the message would be intended for. Okay? So learn as much as about your listeners as you can. Okay? So this will help you to determine your choice of words, um, the level of the information that you're going to tell them, the organization patterns, and the motivational statements. Okay? Kasi specifically, when you are conducting a speech or public speaking in children, make sure that that has a lot of humor. Make sure din na maraming galaw-galaw, maraming movements na isasali or isasama tayo dun sa speaking natin. Kasi po, ang mga bata ay active learner na tinatawag. Okay? Hindi po sila sanay o hindi po sila matututo kapag sila ay nakikinig lang sa atin. Make sure we are catchy. Once they've seen us, okay, that would catch their attention. Number 3, organize your materials in the most effective manner to attain your purpose. Okay? So number 3, create a framework for your speech. Okay? Write down the topic, the general purpose. When it's a general purpose, what is the purpose of that speech or that public speaking? The specific purpose. If you have the target audience, make sure to be specific on your purpose, the central idea, and the main points. Okay, so make sure to grab the audience attentions in the first 30 seconds. So, diba, when we are making a speech or a public speaking, um, kahit nga sa essay make sure na the first part of your essay or the first part of your performance or the first part of your presentation, it is catchy. Okay? Dapat po yung first part po nung public speaking natin or speech, it should bring the listener, the reader, to the point of reading all throughout or listening all throughout your presentation. Tama? Kasi pagsisimula po lang, sinabi mo, andito po ako para po, Diyos ko po, di ba? Aalisan ka ng mga listener. Okay? So that is very important. Next, number 4, watch for feedback and adapt it. Okay? Again, watch for feedback and adapt to it. So ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Keep the focus on your audience. Okay? Keep the focus on your audience. Okay? So, um, gauge their actions. If you see that they are learning, then that's good. Adjust the message and stay flexible. Okay? So delivering a canned speech will guarantee that you lose attention of or confuse even the most devoted listeners. So, mga anak, ang speech kasi, okay, so we have, for example, we have graduation speech. That is a canned speech na tinatawag. Canned speech. C-A-N-N-E-D. Okay? Canned speech. Ibig sabihin ng canned speech, that is composed. Okay? So, naka-ano na siya. Naka-set na siya. Hindi mo na siya pwede baguhin. Okay? Pero, kapag po tayo ay nasa public speaking and then we see that some of our listener is not comprehending with what we are saying, you have to be flexible. Okay? You have to conduct some changes on your content. Okay? Or you could drop questions, enable for you guys to identify that they are learning or they are listening. Okay po. Number 5, let your personality come through. I repeat, when you are doing a public speaking, let your personality come through. So, ano po ibig sabihin nun? Be yourself. Don't become a talking head. So, ibig sabihin, in any type of communication, don't become a talking head. Ang nakikita lang sa'yo na kumikilos or in action or in movement is your mouth, okay? But your personality doesn't move all throughout the conversation. So, you will establish a better or credible if your personality shines with the listeners. So, ibig sabihin po, your audience will trust what you have to say if you can, if they can see you as a real person. So, ibig sabihin po, when a topic is assigned to you guys, make sure that that is personally coming from you. So, ibig sabihin, if you would cite quotation from other authors or from other speakers, that is good. Pero make sure that the content of the speech or the public speaking would be coming from you. Okay? So don't be a talking head. Make sure that your hand movements, okay, your walk, your talk would comply or would portray what the kind or what is the type of personality you have. Number 6, use humor, tell stories, and use effective language. Okay? So, inject a funny anecdote, okay, in your presentation, and you will certainly grab the audience attention. Okay? So, audiences generally like a personal touch in the speech. Okay? A story can provide that. So, ibig sabihin, make sure that when you tell a story, that is relatable by many. Ibig sabihin po, kapag tayo po ay nagsabi ng story, make sure po na yung audience natin is um, adaptable. Ibig sabihin po, yung audience natin is nakaka-relate po doon sa story na sinasabi natin. Kasi mamaya, nag-tell ka or nagkwento ka about love story and kausap mo mga elementary. Tama po, naintindihan natin. So, make sure that the topic, that the story is corporate with the type of audience that we have. Okay? And use effective language. Make sure that the language that you're using is understandable by the audience that you have. So mga anak, when we say public speaking, it is not necessary if you are going to talk English all throughout your speaking or your speech. Okay? You have still to recognize or to consider the audience that you have. Next, don't read unless you have to. work from an outline. So, ibig sabihin po, mga anak, when you're doing a practice, make a script, okay? But when you are on your actual public speaking, for example, it is the day na ito na yung araw para mag-public speak ka, huwag niyo na pong dalhin yung um, script nyo, or as much as possible, do an outline, okay? Kasi it would not catch the attention of the listener if you are reading all throughout your speech. Okay? If you are reading all throughout your speech, ibig sabihin mga anak, wag na wag po natin babasahan yung mga listener natin. Okay? Kasi kung gano'n lang naman, pagbabasahan natin sila, edi sana binigyan mo na lang sila ng copy ng speech mo. Okay? So it is very important that somehow you memorize the content of your speech. And actually, when that is about your personal life, you can speak all throughout about it. Okay, without reading a note, without reading a script, or without reading an outline. Okay, so you have to consider that. Okay, so reading from a script or slide fractures the interpersonal connections. Ibig sabihin, it could destroy the personal connection of the speaker and the listener. Okay? By maintaining eye contact with the audience, you keep the focus on yourself with your audience. A brief outline can serve a jog your memory and keep on the task. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, when you are doing a public speaking, have an eye contact with the people you are talking to. Okay? So, that is very important. So, kapag sa klase, kapag kayo mga anak-teacher na, when you're public educator already, lagi niyong titigan yung mga estudyante na hindi nakikinig. Okay, ganun lang yon. Okay, titigan niyo ng masama, char. Okay, titigan niyo yung mga student natin na hindi nakikinig. Okay, kasi makikita mo sa mga tao na hindi sila nakikinig because their eyes, okay, they're not focused on you. Okay, so enable for you to catch the attention of that specific listener, you have to do an eye contact with that specific person. Okay, next, use audiovisual aids wisely. Okay? So, too many can break the direct connection to the audience. So, use them sparingly. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, marami pong possibility na kung saan masisira po ang connection ni speaker kay listener. Okay? So, they should enhance or clarify your content. Okay? Or capture and maintain the audience attention. So, for audiovisual aids, mga anak, you could use background music, okay, background song, for it to be catchy or for it to be more relatable for the audiences. If that is a sad story, then therefore give or put some sad background song, okay? If that is motivational, there are background song that is very motivating, so that would be very helpful. Okay, so that is based on our techniques, that is based on our idea. I know guys that you are prone to public speaking, no? Lalo na reporting. Maraming teacher na lagi nagpapa-reporting and that is very natural po. Okay? Number 8, use your voice and hands effectively. Omit nervous gestures. Okay? So, omit po natin yung pakamot-kamot sa ulo. Okay? Pahawak-hawak sa ilong. Okay? So, kasi that would affect or that would be a distraction for our audiences. Okay? So, non-verbal communication carries most of the message. Yes. Okay? Napapansin niyo ba, merong mga tao na nagja-jot down or nagsusulat ng mga salita na paulit-ulit mong sinasabi. Okay, okay, may GC pang sarili yan, sasabihin, nakailang ano si ma'am, nakailang si ma'am, ganon, okay, so that would be a distraction. So, imbis na natuto, imbis po na nag-focus si student or si listener sa sinabi natin, they were very distracted po dun sa nervous gestures natin. So, we have to omit that. Use your voice and hand effectively. Make sure that your voice is audible. Make sure that your hand gestures, the hand movement is very effective. Okay po. And actually, if there's no need to use hands for your presentation, there's no need to. Okay po, just omit the nervous gestures. Okay. And lastly, number 9, grab attention at the beginning and close with a dynamic end. Okay. So, do you enjoy hearing a speech that starts with, today I'm going to talk about, diba? sakit sa ulo. Okay? So, public speaking, most of the public speaking, they start with a quotation, they start with a question, they start with like a fairy tale story, okay? Because most people, most people will catch, or most people would vary or would depend on how the speaker begin with his or her talk, okay, and close with a dynamic end, okay. Some or many of the public speaking, they end with an encouragement. If you are in my position, you would do this. I encourage you guys to please, ganon, ganon, ganon. Okay? So when we say dynamic end, it should cause your speak or listener to do an action with regards the speak or the content or the topic that you have said. Okay? So that is. Okay? So conclude your speech with a summary and a strong statement that your audience is sure to remember. Yan yung sinasabi ko. Okay? So make sure na at the end of your public speaking or the end of your speech, the audience should remember what you have said. Okay? All throughout the lesson tuloy, or all throughout the content or the speech that you have mentioned. So that is about public speaking. Okay? So if you have any question, please refer to our GC, and I hope this could help you to enhance your public speaking ability. Okay? So God bless future educators. I know that you need this, and I know that all of you are good. So I believe that you would practice doing a public speaking on your house, on your classmate, okay? Wala pong hiya-hiya, okay? Bawal po ang mahiya-hiya sa ating mga kaklase, sa ating field, okay? So you have to do your best to be guided and to learn public speaking, okay? So that's all BSE2. I hope you learned something this afternoon. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and I hope you watch everything. Okay? I hope you watch everything that I've mentioned or include on this presentation. Thank you so much. God bless everyone.